I'm not even. Believe me, I'm not. That's the problem.
You're a very big person. Big.
But he's nice to sit next to.
Huge.
He's nice.
All right. Arachin Daf Dalet.
What's the difference?
Rabbi Isai, we're continuing with the sugya. All Gary's here. We're continuing with the sugya of Kohanim Levim Yisraelim. Because you're a Levi, you need to know the sugya. Kohanim Levim Yisraelim. You're in a mood. Wow. 24 seconds, you just insulted me, him, and him.
Who asked you to tell us what's going on?
Rabbi, I have to say hello first to Rabbi Bernard. He called me yesterday. He said that the pictures of the house went too fast. He wants the pictures.
I think what he's saying
And
is
he said there's 6 people sitting with him every day. He told me the names. 6 people every single day sitting in the
he
chabura.
doesn't want that.
And they I'm saying
He doesn't
hello
want
right
the
now.
pictures, he wants the house.
He's trying to sell it for me. Akol Chayovim Mikra Megillah. So in our Mishnah it says Kohanim Leviim Yisraelim, and the big question is, why would a Kohen, a Levi, not be part of Arachin? Why would a Kohen and a Levi or Yisrael not be part of Mikra Megillah and all these other things that the Gemara is going to bring a whole list of things. The rest of the places in Shas that says Kohanim Leviim Yisraelim. First one is Megillah Akol Chayovim Mikra Megillah Kohanim Leviim Yisraelim Pshita Lo Yitzricha Lebatal Abidaso. This is an amazing thing. Not everybody knows this. If I ask you a question, if you didn't come to Daf Yomi today, do Yisraelim do avodah, perform avodah in the Beis Hamikdash?
Yes, Ma'amodos.
They sing.
Those who learn with Yedidya for 2 hours.
No, those are the one who tell the point that what is Ma'amodos, because they just read Ma'amodos as it's nothing. So I told them what's Ma'amodos. I told them as Ma'amodos. I said, do you know what's
I Baruch
Ma'amodos?
Hashem saw it beforehand. So. All right, Yisraelim have a big job. Thank you. Go ahead. Is this for him or for me?
They do chufa, right?
What do they do? Sugar. The Kohanim we know they do avodah, Levim do avodah, but Yisraelim also they have a very important role in the Beis Hamikdash called Mamados. They are Klal Yisrael is broken up into 24 mishmaros. Mamados correspond to the 24 mishmaros, and they basically sit there and they do things for the Talmud, and they daven, etc. Not only that, in the cities, there's 24 corresponding to the 24 in the Beis Hamikdash, and those people have to fast Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday straight. They eat at night, but they fast 4 days. So yeah, shkoyach.
They took Ramadan.
They took Ramadan from us.
Now the Korbanah should be in the
So it says like this, right? That the Korbanah should be niskabel b'rotzim. That's their job. So here's the you have Kohanim in the Beis Hamikdash, you have Levim, you have Yisraelim, and then the time of Mikra Megillah comes. They have to drop everything and go listen to the Megillah. Why? Hirsu. They continue doing their avodah and do the Megillah by themselves. They'll make a little minyan later. It's better to have the larger minyan and everybody go together. Nubayim l'shmoya mikra megillah, and that's the chiddush in Hakol Chayavim. Over here, it's even a chiddush in the Yisraelim. Even the Yisrael has to listen to mikra megillah and not continue doing the avodah, unless
They didn't have to listen.
right, correct. Thank you. There was no megillah in Bayis Rishon. Hakol Chayavim bezimon.
What is the mind? Just what's the mind?
They stand there. They're
If
part
they
of
were
it.
doing anything, so what do you saw watching?
Yeah, they were dominating.
Davening. They
They
made
did
sure that they
join a
follow.
carbon, but there's no carbon. There's no Kohen Levi. So
Wait, what do you mean there's no problem? Bashing. It's in the Beis
I'm saying
Hamikdash.
if the Kohen Levi have to go here and go, so of course Israel's not doing another job. Is it?
No, it's on the mizbeach, burning away.
I mean they've gone. The
There you
Israel
go.
should stay there.
Yeah. But it's a three-way chiddush. It's not just for the Israel. Even the Israel, until all these gemaras are kayin. This happens to be one case that Israel is a chiddush. The chiddush wearies at the Beis Hamikdash. And as long, of course, that the avodah in the Beis Hamikdash is going to be taken care of. If them leaving to listen to Megillah, something's going to happen in the Beis Hamikdash. The avodah is not going to. Then the avodah in the Beis Hamikdash comes first. Then yes.
The Israel are divided into 24 mishmos and they're praying for
Yeah. Hakol Chayavim bezimun. Everybody has to bench. Kohanim, Levim, or the Zima, like we said yesterday, the pre-benching and saying it out loud, kids are benching. Here's an amazing chiddush. When Kohanim eat kachim, it's not like what you think that they get. Until now, we learned the whole Masechet Schul, and I don't know if we paid attention to this point. A Kohen gets a present; he's allowed to eat kachim. So he eats kachim. There's no difference between him eating kachim and me eating a steak. And the Gemara says there's a big difference. That the reason why the Kohen eats kachim is to give a kapara to the person that brought the carbon, whether it's a mincha or a carbon. So he's eating it, his eating creates a kapara here. So, I would think, and therefore there's no benching, because when you bench for eating something and enjoying it. Over here, he's eating it, his purpose, but what's behind the purpose? Not to fill his stomach, the purpose behind it is to give a kapara.
It's not the Mizbeach consuming the...
Yeah, Mizbeach was to make a bracha. Saying the food is not doing him a favor, he's doing a favor to the food, so to speak. I would have such a havamim. At the end of the day, they have anah. They do have anah. You're right. There is a purpose. There's a meaning behind it, a deeper meaning than your typical just eating breakfast. But at the end of the day, he doesn't have to eat afterwards, and he does have anah. So memela, he's chayiv in the v'chalta v'savata. Hakol mitzdarfen lezimun. So if you have two Yisraelim or whatever, you can have one and one and one. Everybody's mitzvah if they all join one group for zimun. Pshita lo yitzricha dekachli kohanim truma oikachin bizar koachal chulin. Here's a very interesting case. You have people that are not mitzvah with each other because a Yisrael cannot join the kohen in his food, so they're eating like separate meals. Right? Almost.
It's like when we eat milkshakes and inflation.
That's what Mendy was about to say. And that's basically Tosfos. Tosfos brings the point. What happens in a case, so let's just finish and then we'll talk about the case. But you have a Yisrael that can't jump in and eat from the Kohen steak. So they're eating two separate meals. He's eating kachim and but the Kohen on the reverse could eat from the Yisrael. So he's mitzvah the Yisrael this way, and that's enough for the tziruf of zimun. So now what about a person that's mudur hana from his friend? He says, I'll never eat from you. So it's the same thing with Chayra. Since the other guy, one of them could eat from him, he can't eat from the other guy, so he's mitzvah. But if they're both mudur hana, says Tosfos, from each other, then they're not mitzvah. And then what about milchiks and fleishiks? So I'm eating milchiks, and you two guys are eating fleishiks. You guys cannot eat with me. I could eat with you. So Memela, I'm mitzvah with you. Says the Mishnah Berurah, in that case, then I'm the mizam. I'm the guy that's mitzvah for everybody. I'm the mizam.
It's all right. I would think that maybe.
No, but there really isn't a tziruf. At the end of the day, there's no tziruf. How do you mitzvah?
But
We sat and ate together.
No, because
You ate together.
Because the milchiks
the same food.
The milchiks could eat fleishiks.
When do you have to eat the same food?
Why?
Why? We sat and ate together in the same table. If I eat a chicken and you eat meat, what's the difference? You eat the same food, but still
Chicken and meat is the same thing. But if you eat cheese, but if you haven't
Eating together.
You're eating together, you're sitting on the
Oh, you're saying
same
cheese.
table together.
Cheese is a problem. He's right. Cheese and one guy eats cheese and one guy eats meat.
Okay.
They won't be able to be mitzvah.
All right, but let's say you're eating food, right? You're eating but different food. I don't know, you're
Cheese
allergic
you have to wait
to
6
it. You're
hours.
allergic to the food. You're not allowed to eat
Hold
it.
on.
But you can still like a
What
zima.
about other
Hey,
things?
what-
That's Kamina.
What about other things that we mitzvah with?
What?
That we mitzvah through bread or through...
What if you eat the same table, but you're allergic to what
Why
I'm
is it
eating?
after the meat?
You're allergic.
That's what they have on the table there.
Still make a
separate
ziyun?
meal, no.
because you have to
Because
have
we're sharing a meal.
Okay.
if you're eating milchiks and fleishiks, you have to
Right there.
That's
That's good. I don't know what's going on.
You're allergic to them like food.
That's all.
It's not together. So I'm here, I'm eating together. It's not like I eat your food. So you make
No, I'm not the bread that makes me. It's a lot of bread.
And then you're allowed to eat kosher.
Wait, no. You're 100% right. We are eating bread. You have to eat bread. There's no zima without bread. You can't make zima on meat.
Ladies and gentlemen,
They're eating bread from the Semidos.
We love Levi.
That is not making.
Talking about
They're not eating together. They're not the same meal. They're not eating the same.
Talking about government.
The new show.
No, there has to be meat here.
Nobody talking about
Of course, there is a mincha, but there's an element of bread and there's an element of meat. You have to have the two elements.
No balance. We're eating bread.
Right. Rabbi Isai,
Let's continue.
we can't allow this anymore. You guys are having way too much fun.
So what do they bench on the loaves of bread? That they
You have to bench. We're talking about benching on the loaves of bread, not benching on meat. And it happens to be that this guy's eating meat and this guy's not. This guy's eating kachim, this guy's eating
This
chulin.
guy's eating kachin.
Zog the Gemara, yeah? Zog the Chamin Hoyle, the boy zor lemecha, v'hadi koylim motzi ochil, emelo litzarev, komash malon, nihid zor b'hadi koylim motzi ochil. You're right. The one way doesn't go with the Yisrael Kenny with the koyin. Koyin b'hadi zor motzi ochil. Says the Gemara, Akol marichim koyhanim levim Yisrael. Again, what is the big chiddush that a koyin? A Yisrael could do, we know, is married. What the Chiddush here is going to be in the Kohen, in the Levi maybe. Shito, Amarabel, Nitzrucha, Elo, Leben. No, it changes. It's changed to Rabba.
My guy says Rob.
No, so you guys bad, because later on there's a Rabba and it has to be Rabba over here. Amarabel, Nitzrucha, Elo, Leben, Buchri. So, this is going back to our Mishnah. Finally, we got to our Mishnah. We brought out the sugis because of our Mishnah. Our Mishnah mentions Haracha. What does Ben Bruchi say? It's not. Omer Yehuda Heyid Ben Buchri b'Yachid. Called Koyin Sheshoikel Einei Choyda. We have a machlekes whether or not a Koyin gives machzas shekel or not. Says Ben Buchri, he could do it. It's not a problem. What would be the problem? As the Gemara is going to explain soon. It's chulin ba'azar. Because since his shekel is not, he's part of. He's being mitzdaref in the carbon that Klal Yisrael is bringing is a half a shekel that has no kedusha. And Mamela the Schulin Bazar. That's the problem. Omar loy Rabbi Yochanan Zakai loyke. Ela kol koyin she'eino yishoykel choyte. Comes Rabbi Yochanan Zakai, and he says that the pshat, it's a big problem. What you're saying, you must do matzah shekel. So for this we have to see Rashi for a second. What's the svar? What's going on here? What's the machlekes? Very interesting. The Gematria Rashi brings down the whole thing. So first Rashi says, Einei choyte. Rashi did masking the towards the top. In far as the command, they have a chulin ba'azara. It says in the pasuk, whoever's counted, whoever Moshe Rabbeinu counted, and we know that Shevet Levi wasn't counted. So if Shevet Levi wasn't counted, then they don't have to give machzah shekel. Says Rashi, the next Rashi, comes along, Rabbi Yochanan Zakai says, no, if you don't give machzah shekel, you're a chayta. Why? We have 12 shvatim here. The Hainu Nami Shevet Levi. Oh, but we have a big problem. Rashi just brought down the Mebuchri learns Kol Ha'over. You have to go through the census. You have to be counted. Says Rashi, the Kol Ha'over Mefarish Kol Ha'over b'Yamsuf. Ooh. It's not Oiver al Pekudim. It's not whoever is counted. It's whoever went over the Yamsuf. And since Leviim went through the Yamsuf, so Kohanim and Leviim are chayev in machzah shekel. Let's go back to the Gemara. So you hear this Zeh. Zeh is Gematria 12.
Yud-Bei Shvatim.
Yud-Bei Shvatim.
If we say that Ephraim and Nash are two different Shvatim, then Levi is not from Yud-Bei Shvatim.
Yeah.
That's that.
We only have Yud Beis. It's counted as Yud Beis. At the end of the day, we have 13.
Bring your Gematria.
But this one,
Yud-Bei is really 13.
it's with the Kailo. With the Kailo. You have to always say Kailo. Does anybody remember this Gemara from Chulin? The Kohanim had the drasha that they made a mistake. So step number one is that the Torah tells us that anytime a kohen brings a mincha, he must consume it completely. It must be consumed completely. Kolel. Leave it on the mizbeach. You, the kohen, cannot touch it. Kolel. It has to be burnt.
Okay.
That's step number one. Chol minchas kohen. Right. So anything that a kohen is involved in monetarily has to be on the mizbeach. He can't touch it. He can't be biased. So they make a cheshbon like this. The oimer and the lechem aponim, we eat it. So if we eat it, what does that mean? We don't own it. We never participated in it. Because if we participated in it, kolel, we're not allowed to eat it. How can we eat it? So Memel, it's a raya that we don't bring the machzah shekel. Because if we brought the machzah shekel, we wouldn't be able to eat the omer.
Say that one again. What's that?
A kohen can never eat a mincha that he bought with his money. He's biased. He could eat a Yisrael's mincha. So how does a kohen eat lechem upon him every day? How does a kohen eat the omer in Shavuos? If he bought it, he didn't buy it. Who buys the omer? Who buys the lechem upon him? Klal Yisrael with the machzah shekel. So obviously they have zero machzah shekel in the omer and in the lechem upon him. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to eat it.
There's no bittul?
What's the So what is the svara of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai? He holds bittul. It's the roiv. We go by the roiv of Klal Yisrael. They're 2% only. And Memela.
So you can move out to
Their
this?
chatzi shekel is
No, they're
Yeah.
How
No.
much can move out doesn't matter how little it is.
Okay. But that's,
He's not eating that.
that's right.
He's not eating from his fish.
Well,
He's not eating.
By the way, you notice now, all his bam kashas are coming today. All of a sudden, he brings out his bam kashas. I'll do this every day, b'sheker. Fine.
Just argues with
What?
Tzliyun. It's not a bit.
No, I learned it's a roiv.
Tzliyun is wrong.
I saw him first. They say roiv because of roiv.
Yeah.
You also saw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that it's rare that's not his, or that
No.
it's
Roy, Klal Yisrael's half shekel are buying the.
Kudshim Barod is each man's.
No, mevatel this pasuk kolel.
No, it's a grammar. It's the money.
Mama's
when-
Kiddush Atsu.
Fine.
It's not, you didn't buy it. It's the money.
Ume ben Bukhari nami
Rashi says
kiddush
it. Bossel.
Oh, Rashi. Ruven. Rashi. Ule ben Bukhari nami kivin l'chatchila loy mechayvi lasuye. Himaisi nami choytehu dekomayel kule lazoro. So the Gemara is a kasha. According to Ben Bukhari, you don't have to bring the matzah shekel, but you decided to bring it. According to Ben Bukhari, he's allowed to, right? How does Ben Bukhari? The machlokes Ben Bukhari and Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai holds you chayiv. A kohen is chayiv to bring it, and Ben Bukhari says if he wants to, he did a mitzvah. He's allowed to. But how is he allowed to? He just brought chulin to the azara. How did he bring chulin to the azara by side? Not the pshat, like I learned for the first 2 minutes when I was learning. Chulin b'azara, he brought machzah shekel into azara b'chulin. No, it means once he participated in the carbon, and the Klal Yisrael brings a carbon, there's a little bit of chulin in the carbon. So Memela says the Gemara, the kamayil chulin azara, the ma'islu masar l'tzibur. You're right. The way a kohen donates a machzah shekel is only in one case, according to Ben Bukhari, that he gives it over and he says, "I'm giving this the donation to the tzibur that they give it to the Beis Hamikdash." But to go directly to the Beis Hamikdash, there'll be a problem of chulin b'azara. So now, going back now. So what does that have to do with our sugya? So what's the chiddush in Kohanim Levim Yisraelim? The chiddush is, I would think, that since the Kohen is not in the parsha of Shekel, according to Ben Bukhari, therefore, Kohanim Levim Yisraelim, everybody is chayiv in Arachin, even if you say that a Kohen is not chayiv in matzah shekel. What does it mean chayiv Arachin? He's in the parsha of Arachin. So if somebody says on a Kohen, Erkoy alai, or the Kohen himself says Erkoy alai. Omar le'abayo, hay v'chol erkecho, v'chol arochim shatam marich, lo'ibchusim miselo da'aseh. I already use it for something else. It has to be, shouldn't be less than a sela. Elo Omar abayo, because we're going to see that there are times that you go less than a sela. You go less, you do less than what the Torah tells you, less than your chart, and that is if a person is poor. There's a concept called hesed yad in the Torah. That is, if a person is poor, so we evaluate how much he's worth, how much he has left, and then he has to give. So sometimes he doesn't give the 20 shekel or the 50 shekel he has to give, or the 3 shekel. He'll go lower if it's a woman, she doesn't have money, less than 3 shekel. So now Abaye comes up with his own shot. What?
Doesn't remain in debt.
No. Maybe, you're saying for the future, if you became rich, a person. No, he gave it as the
becomes
hesed.
rich before he gave it. Yeah. If he gave it as a hesed,
Okay,
So the chol doesn't stay in the air and she gets.
that's what he's saying. Called the Issa Bepidyon Haben, Issa Be'erchen. Anybody that has to redeem his own son, I would think, is the only person that could be in the parish of Erchen, because it says in the same pasuk as Pidyon Haben Be'erkecha. V'hani kohanim hoyel v'lesnu bepidyon haben lesnu be'erchen. These kohanim who don't redeem their own sons, maybe perhaps they shouldn't be in the parish of Erchen at all. Komashmal on our Mishnah kohanim levim Yisraelim. Omer le'erova lemiato doesn't make any sense. Gabi eloshom nichsiv v'sashom yovel Hashem ayol tomim minatzoim be'erkecha. It says the word Erchen in ayol hachinami. They call it Issa be'erchen, Issa be'el ha'asham. Tumtum androgynos, the lesnu be'erchen. You tell me anytime it says the word Erchen together with another parsha, they're connected. So we have a parsha of El Asham together with Erchen, and we know that what?
Xelos.
Xelos, thank you, right? El Asham Xelos. So if a Tumtum and androgynos, who we said are not in the parsha of Erchen, nobody could say Erech Tumtum Alai. He could say Erech Pliny Alai, but you can't say to him, right? There are 3 out of the 4 in the Mishnah. They're not in the Lesnu Be'erchen, Lesnu Be'elasham. So if you're not in Erchen, you can't be in Hasham Xelois. Elo Marova Videmi Ravashi Itzur Chsoka Dedechamina Hoyel Uchsi Behemidor Lefnei HaKoyen V'lo Koyen Lefnei Koyen Komash Malon. This is interesting. It says, you shall stand in front of a kohen. It's a person in front of a kohen, but not a kohen in front of a kohen. It seems from the passage that it's not a kohen in front of a kohen. Another person, a zar in front of a kohen, and not a kohen in front of a kohen. I saw you rolling your eyes for a second. I understand what you're saying. That was you, Chaim. You did one of these, not a roll of eyes, like, I don't get it exactly. It's like, okay. So we had this before, all the way in the beginning of the Masechta. Oh, I forgot to bring my picture of the Mukashkin. I think it's already ingrained in your eyes. The Menuva Mukashkin.
Yeah, I don't think we
That what?
We saw it once.
You saw it once. He remembers it. Ne'erochim. Where's Gary? Wait. Ran out. Okay.
That's a bit of an
No, I wanted to tell him. I was telling these guys before he came that the guy from England, he called me up to say that he didn't see the pictures and he didn't put it online. Usually Gary puts the pictures. He figured that's not. It's not, because I remember it was triggered from Mukashkin. And Mukashkin also didn't put on the WhatsApp. So that's not a picture.
It's on 8 minutes. It's on 8 minutes.
What? Well, no, not the
Mukashkin.
Mukashkin, right? But not the house.
Maybe
He says, he calls up. He says, "Where's the house?" Or boy say, "Send the house."
Maybe you didn't want to show the water damage to your current.
Right.
Yeah, from radio.
They could have been. Oh, that one. Got it. Well, it's yeah. That's why you don't buy that. Oh wow. The Nobel there. Okay, so we said like this. So we have like this. A menuva mukashchin on the slave market are worth 0. Let's say there's no market for them. You asked, what he could work in the field, whatever. He's not worth anything. But when it comes to Erchen, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not differentiating between a healthy human being, an NBA player that's worth $15 million a year, and a mukashchin that's worth 0. Every person has a 20 shekel erech, a 50 erech shekel, depending on his age. How do we know this? The Torah Rabbanim be'erkechol lahavi erech sasum. So now we have a concept called erech sasum. Again, if you didn't go to Daf Yomi, you don't know what this is. It's a good thing you came today. Erech sasum means that a person didn't say erki olai or erkoi olai. He says erech olai. Erech. What's erech? It's not in the chart. In the chart it says zochar nekeva, 1 chodesh to 5, 5 to 20. It doesn't say anything about erech though. So what do? Dover Acher, we're going to see in the Gemara, you bring the least of the least. What's the least amount on the chart? 3 shekel.
Why the least?
That's the. Oh, why not?
Because it's a suffix and
Yeah.
you should pay the maximum.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, could be. No. That's the fast rule like the fast. The Gemara says a svara. The Gemara's going to ask a question.
It's maybe.
He's a Jew and a Jewish tries to make the cheapest. That's it.
Yeah, but it's a suffix what? It's a suffix what he meant. What's the suffix? The suffix what it means maybe.
Das dran spielen, doesn't matter.
Berkecha lo erech sosim. Dover acher be'erech berkecha erech kulo hu noisim v'loi erech evarim. Now I'll just show you because I have it here. If you at the end of the sugya, the Gemara is going to say this and explain it a little better. But the word is be'erkecha, and the word is built out of two words. Erech is in the middle, and it says be'erkecha. So from the beis and chav you have the bottom part, the mei aver. And in the blue, the middle, you have the top part, this chidush. We just said two chidushim. Erech sasum, or erech stam, you want to call it in Hebrew, erech stam, the guy said stam. It's also called sasum, because it's not explained what it is. And the me'aver. The reason why I put stam and not sasum, it is called stam also, but it takes up less room and whatever, it's better for the child. It is the same thing. Alright, so Bekitzer, over here also you can see it says the make aver, not a varim, whatever. It's a trick in making charts.
Visually pretty.
Yeah, thank you. Shkoyach. Erech sosum dover acher be'erkecha erech kulo hu noisim ve'loi erech evarim. Person says erech, my hand on me. That's not in the Torah. The Torah talks about human beings, whole human beings, and not evarim. Yachol, whereas, by the way, obviously, if a person says the may yod yolai, as we're going to see, then obviously, but because he's stuck in the word erech, that ruins it. What if a person says my head erech, my head on me? Then he has to give his whole body. So that's going to be very interesting. And over here we have another chart for today, and the last one, that the word nefashis is also built in two parts. We have the word nefesh, and that comes to say 3 limudim, and nefashois, the extra vav tav, comes to say the main chiddush, which is a menuvel, a mukashrin. So the first one, as you see in the chart, nefesh comes to say neshamat luyiboy. Very pashut. It's the nefesh. It's the whole nefesh. Without the head, you have no nefesh. So nefesh includes neshama. Nefesh includes a woman, and nefesh includes many people because they're all on nefesh. And those are the 3 limudim that we have here. Says the Gemara, but the Gemara, it says it a little bit in a confusing way, and it goes a little bit back and forth. So this makes it a little bit more visually, if you could, you picture there's 3 limudim in a limud. Nefashois v'loy hames. So you're going to ask me, how come this is not on the chart? We just said nefashois v'loy hames. So the Gemara is going to go back to that and take it off the list. But what does it say here? You have to have a nefesh, you have to be alive, you have to have a soul. If a person is dead and somebody points to a dead body and says, this body on me, it's nothing because he has no nefesh, he has 0 value. He's less than a month old. Right? How old is he? He's dead, so how old is a dead person? Oh, so what about a person that's not dead yet, but he's very much going to die in a minute, but he has a neshama in him? So the Gemara stays with this actually on this goisus, but the Gemara is going to add the mace to this pasuk. Behamid v'herich. How do you do haracha? You have to stand up. So if you stand up, goisus is not standing. He's not going anywhere, and certainly that person is not standing.
Can't stand.
Imagine if a guy goes like he stands, because we had it before. We're gonna have it in a second. Fine. Kol sheyeshni b'hamada yeshni b'haracha. I'll get there in a second.
So why do I need the nefashos for my mess?
We don't. That's what I pointed out. We not now.
Okay.
We are going to drop it. I just pointed out it's not on my chart because v'chol sheyeshni b'hamada einoi b'haracha davar acher nefashos einli elo echad sheherich echad. Echad sheherich me'o minayin. Tameloy nefashos. It says it plural. But the Gemara is going to say it's not from the plural, the nefashos, but from the nefesh. In other words, a person could stand by Rav Shteinman's levaya and say, Erech kula malai. And then what do? You tell the olam you can't go home. Each guy has to stand. How old are you? Take to that zehut. Each guy, they're like dying to get on the bus? No. This Meshuggah just did Erechin on everybody. And then basically when it gets to $100 million, which you get real quick because it's 50 shekel times then you have to start doing Hesed Gad. You go like you drop it down to 10 agurot. Fine.
The Hesed Gad is only on the guy that did it. That's it.
Yeah. I'm talking about the guy that said it.
We'll get to that.
When he gets to 50,000 people times 50 shekel, he's done. I don't care if he's Reichman or whatever. And then all it has to but then everybody stays. He's like I got you all. and they just
And then they
stand
make a
in the
breakfast
line.
for him, and they go around the shul collecting for the guy
$5.
because he has to sell his house.
10 minutes later.
And
Okay,
his kids pay for it.
we're holding on the bottom.
It's,
Dover Acher, now we turn the page. For that person who asked where we're holding. Nefashos ein elo ish sheherich bein ish ben isha ish shericha ish. How do you know that a woman could be involved? Ish shericha isha minayin tamaloi ma nefashos. She has a nefesh. Dover Acher nefashos the rabbis min nuvel umukushkin. The Gemara just lumps it all together. Nefashos let's go to the Gemara. 3 from here, 1 from here. Nefashos comes to say also a menuvel umukushkin. Shiachol neder be'erkecha kol sheyeshne b'domim yeshne be'erkecha. I would think that since the menuvel mukushkin is worthless, so he can't do erech, he has no erech either. If he's not worth anything on the slave market, why should he be worth anything on the erech market? Now, v'hoya erkecha l'rabois tumtum v'adroginus l'domim sheyachal neder be'erkecha. So tumtum v'adroginus, it has value. Why would I think that? We already said that a tumtum androgens are not in the parsha of Arachin. If somebody says erech tumtum alai, it's nothing. So memela, even though a tumtum is worth a lot of money on the slave market, he shouldn't be the subject of a neder either. Sorry, I didn't have time this morning to print it out, but there's a few different psukim here, but it's kind of obvious. There's erkecha, there's erkecha zachar. Those two might be that's the same pasuk as before by erkecha zachar, but there's a few psukim here. Zachar v'lei tumtum v'androgenos, and this goes to answer Mr. Link's question all the way by the Mishnah. Over here, it's just more of a pasuk. Zachar v'lei tumtum v'androgenos. Yachal layu be'erech ish, avayu be'erech isha. So Mr. Link says the question, but at the end of the day, he's the tumtum. Okay, that's what the Gemara is going to say. But at least, so say it's a woman, so give an erech of a woman. Why 0?
So at least there.
V'haya erech has zachar v'im nekeva hi zachar vaday nekeva vadois v'loy tumtum androgenos. You're right. In there somewhere is an nekeva by the tumtum, but in the parsha of Arachin, because it says v'im nekeva, that it has to be. You have to know right now what it is, and if you don't know what it is, that you don't do Arachin at all. Omar Mar be'ergecha the rabbis erech stam. So now we're going to go back and break it up a little bit, explain it a little bit better. Be'erkecha comes to tell us that if somebody didn't say erki olai or erker olai, he just said the word erech olai, that you have to bring erech. My erech stam, Ditanya, hoimer erech stam olai, noisin ka pachash be'erechin, he has to give the least, bekam pachash be'erechin, shloishes shkolim. A woman who's a girl, a baby who's between a month old and 5 years, I believe, is 3 shekel. That is the least on the chart, because a baby boy is 5 shekel. So the least amount is 3 shekel. So give 3 shekel. Maybe give the most, which is 50. Tafasta meruba, loy tafasta, tafasta mutafasta. This is Yisrael for life. Tafasta meruba, loy tafasta. I know a guy that writes 25 books. He's in seminary. He gives speeches all around the world. He's become whatever. The faster rule is the faster.
Good looking.
Good looking. Yeah, cool. Veima shekel. He's not listening. He's in a different world now. Veima shekel d'chsiv. Veima shekel. Maybe it should only be a shekel. Shekel is nothing. 1 shekel.
Incredible.
Now he's famous.
He writes for the newspaper. No, because he's thinking himself. He's not even listening to all the stuff. He writes from India. He writes.
His mom is incredible.
Incredible.
What are you doing?
Incredible too.
There's nobody watching. There's nobody watching. There's nobody watching.
5 minutes. Put a picture up of the book.
5 minutes.
The vast Veima shekel. Maybe it should be 1 shekel of siv. V'chol ergecha yu b'shekel hakodesh. Ahu b'esegyad. So this is the parish of Esegyad we're talking about. If a person is really poor, so he could give a shekel. But when a guy says erki, he doesn't give a shekel. Why? Because that's the parasha of Hesegyad and not the parasha of Arachin. It's 2 different parashas. In a parasha that a person has the money, okay, he gives a shekel. In the parasha of Arachin, the least is 3 shekel. Ve'ela, no, what's the kasha? Ve'ela kro lamali. What's the Shaila?
Without the pasuk, I would know.
Well, you can't go too high because of pasuk. You can't go too low.
So what's the options? Obviously, I can only give.
You have Mr. Kornbluth's option. Okay. That even a poor person doesn't give less than that. My time. Oh, so no. Here's the thing. If a person says erech olai, there are no options. There's nothing less than 3 shekel. Even a poor person doesn't. Even a guy that can't afford it, let's say, or in a typical case where he said erech olai. Let's say a person said erech olai, and we do hesek yad on him, and we would go down all the way to a shekel. But if that person said erech olai, and this has a little bit to do with what Mr. Cornwell said. Person says erech olai, then we say the minimum is 3 shekel. Why? So now we have a machlokes. Did a person that say erech olai, did he mean that I want to give 3 shekel, and the way he called 3 shekel is erech? Or he had no idea what he was saying, and we just say that memela means 3 shekel, the least on the list. So Ikeda Amri, Omer Rav Nachman, in Rav Nachman itself, this is Shaila what he said. Omer Rabbi Baravua, Nidoim beheseg yad. Pshita, we go down. That if a person is poor, he will go down less than 3 shekel. I would think that a person that says erech olai is saying specifically, I want to give 3 shekel. Mashmal on that, no.
The difference is that when you say erech olai, you know the minimum is 3. There's no room to play with that. When I say erech olai, I don't know how old you are.
You don't know how much you're worth.
So therefore, I'm in the partial hesek.
But I do know that the least of erech is 20.
Huh?
I know that he's at least 18, no? At least.
No, the point is, once you don't know for sure,
then you can
go
go
partial
minimum.
you're not knowing, so then there's a hesek yad. Then there's a partial hesek yad. But when I say erech,
Right.
it's pashut that the minimum is 3. So it's like I'm saying 3 shkalim alai. So I'm out of the partial hesek yad.
That's the first way of learning. Dovracher.
Is the having.
No, there's 2 shoynes here.
Right.
Lashon 1.
The nafkamina is.
Let's go. We have 4 minutes.
Nafkamina is where he has got money anyway, so he can't pay it.
Yeah.
Nafkamina is when he has to pay it later on in life, when he gets money.
Dovracher bergecho erech kulei hu noisen ve'enu noisen erech demei varim. Oh, did we just do the second one? Iken Amri, sorry. Iken Amri. Omer Rav Nachman Rav Baruch Nidoim beheseg yad pshita. Well, let's say we can borrow. Okay, fine. Dovracher bergecho erech kulei hu noisen ve'enu noisen erech demei varim. So if a person says erech my hand on me, it's nothing. You already learned the word be'erkecha to say that if a person doesn't specify, just says erech olai, that it gives 3 shekel. Says the Gemara, kari be'erech be'erkecha, and that's this chart right over here. I can learn from one word erech be'erkecha, and one I learned blue, and one I learned red. Nefashos v'loy es hameis. Well, time out. Okay, so now we have the 5 things, and not on this list is a mace. From the word nefesh, I learned out 4 things. One of them that we said before is it has to be a nefesh, a live thing, a soul, and not a dead person. Well, I picked it, but I already learned it. Other things. Look at this list. How can I learn other things when I have a whole full list? Karbe nefesh nefashos. So I have here 2 words, nefesh nefashos. So that's what the Gemara is saying right now. I can learn 2 things. Oitzis a mace, and whatever else I learned.
That you can't do for mace?
I can't do erichin on a mace.
And you can't also do what? What's that?
For a woman, let's say, we'll see. Let's we're gonna chop it down. Oitzis a mace, oitzis a goises. Tamad loymar behemid veherich. It says in the pasuk that a goises who can't stand up, behemid, he has to stand up, veherich. So he's not in the parsha of erich. Yochi mace nami typically behemid veherich. Why do I need a special nafshois to tell me a dead person can't stand up? Hachanami, you're right. So then now I have extra word. Come on, like we're going to say soon, which is a menuvel mukushchin. I need it for menuvel mukushchin. How do I know that one person standing by the levaya could do the entire levaya? That's one limud. Dover acher, another limud nefashos said li eli ish herich bein ish bein isho. How do I know that a woman is involved here? Isha shericha ish v'isha shericha isha minayin tameloim nefashos. Dover acher nefashos lahavi minuvel mukushchin. Ask the Gemara about Pikte Lahana. You already learned a woman. You already learned the neshama. You already learned that a person can do 100 people. Where do I have room here for Menuva Mukashchin? Says Gemara Hanach Leitzrichi Kra. All these three don't need three psukim. My Tayema Shakalu V'Yavayu Kulam. In other words, the point of the Torah is nefesh. You have to have a soul. A soul could involve a lot of different things. A woman, the head is a nefesh. Anything that's a nefesh. A lot of people are a nefesh. It's not three different limudim. It's one limud that has three different toitzois, outcomes.
Not a tumtum that
Should we go weiter over here? How much time do we have? All right, we'll stop right over here. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day. We're a little bit behind, but we'll catch up.
Quick question. I thought a guy.
Don't tell me that.